Hello, I'm John Bachman. As New York City prepares to bury two murdered police officers later this week, the mayor is making a plea to protesters. After the killings of officers Rafael Ramos and Wei Jianlu, Bill de Blasio is asking for protesters and demonstrations to be put on hold.
Put aside protests, put aside demonstrations. Until these funerals are past, let's focus just on these families and what they have lost.
The NYPD is also trying to piece together the movements of the killer, Ishmael Brinsley. Investigators are asking for the public's help in figuring out where he was for a couple of hours before Saturday's shooting. Video recovered from his cell phone show that he was at a rally in Union Square in New York earlier this month. And there have been peaceful protests in Milwaukee after the DA there decided not to bring charges against a white police officer who shot and killed an African-American man back in April. Christopher Manny was fired from the police force for not following department rules before that shooting. And Cuba now says, despite warming ties with the United States, it still has no intentions of sending a convicted cop killer back to New Jersey. Joanne Chesmard escaped from prison in the 1970s and was granted asylum in Cuba. Officials say they have the right to protect people who have been persecuted. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie wants the president to demand her return.
It's unacceptable to have a reopening of diplomatic relations with Cuba, and unacceptable to even consider taking them off the terrorist watch list if they are harboring a convicted cop killer.
Chesmard was convicted of the 1973 murder of State Trooper Warren Forrester. She was the first woman ever placed on the FBI's most wanted list. In Australia today, they've been remembering two of the victims of the siege at the Sydney Cafe. Tory Johnson and Katrina Dawson were killed in the final violent moments of that 16-hour standoff. Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott says after the incident last week, the threat of another attack is still high.
It's important that people remain alert and aware, as well as reassured that our police and security agencies are doing everything they humanly can to keep us safe.
Thousands attended the services for Johnson and Dawson. The hostage taker, Manharan Moniz, was killed by police. And it looks like the internet is back up and running in North Korea. Several reports say the entire country was taken offline yesterday for nearly 10 hours. U.S. officials won't say if they were responsible for the outage. The FBI has, though, officially linked North Korea to the hack of Sony Pictures. And oh, the weather outside is going to be frightful for Christmas Eve. A couple of big storms could make a mess of travel plans for tomorrow. Heavy wind and rain up and down the East Coast could cause airport delays, while snow and wind could slow traffic in places like Chicago and St. Louis. Another update coming up for you in 30 minutes.